Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push my mind to a limit where it needs to feed. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss. See, I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Stroke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact.
Cause I'm my own worst enemy, only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind you know I'll always manifest it.
So bitch I better
if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind, you know I'll always manifest it.
What is going on, fam? Welcome back to another episode. My name is TradeFly, bringing you some of the most important market news as well as technical analysis that you can actually use. Bitcoin sitting at 92K. We had a nice push up to about 94K, and we had a banger of a setup that we put out for you guys. We put it out on the YouTube, put it in the Discord. I hope some people jumped on it. Let me turn off my echo I got going on right now. All right, we are good. Woo, that was gonna drive me nuts real fast. Well, I hope everyone is having a good day, a green day. Portfolio should be looking pretty good here with that push up. But let's go over to the chat and let's see who we got in here. I want to say what's up to everybody. We got my man Crypto Squid in here first. What up, dude? Good to see you, man. We got Infinite Team TA. What up, brother? Good to see you. He's dropping all kinds of emojis. Thank you. I appreciate you. All sets at full send. Let's get it. You know it. You know how we go. We got my man Chris Stuckey in here. What up, bro? That's my dude in real life. IRL. What up to you, brother? Good to see you in the chat, man. Much love to you. We got Alexandra G, the best mod in all the space. What up to you, lady? And of course, Wick's wife in here. How are you, lady? Hope all is well with you. We got my man FJ Trading. He said we are printing. Ain't no doubt about it. Ain't no doubt about it. We are reading the market quite well, man. FJ's putting out some hotness. I'm putting out some hotness. Whew. It's we're doing all right, man. I love it. Infinite Team TA. He said, here it is, man. I got you, dude. I got your soundboard right here.
The cream of the crop.
Nobody does it better. All right, there you go, man. He's dropping the old macho man emojis. Let's see what DDT, man. Let's see what he's got. He said, I'll be over soon. Just waiting for Frankie to finish streaming. Right on, man. Frankie, what is he doing? Tell him stop messing with my schedule, man. Golly, he goes in the afternoon. Keep in the afternoon, Frankie. Hope you hear me. What up, Wayne? How you doing, man? He said, let's go, man. Let's go, let's get it. And of course, we got my dude, Hart. What up, bro? Good to see you, good to see you. Checking out the Discord, all right? The proof is in the pudding here. Dropped this one 2 days ago in the Discord, right? I had already talked about it on YouTube, so if you watch the channel, you already know what's a-coming here. But we were looking at this area, right? We knew we had a lot of liquidity above us, right? And then that area at around 94K is likely where you could see a turn, a little reversal. Why? There was no more liquidity for them to chase, right? If you go over the liquidation heat map, right? Look at that. Dark AF, okay? So they take all the liquidity off, and then there's not much incentive for them to chase. I mean, there's a little bit up here, but I mean, I think it actually did go up there as well. It went up to about 94.7, so it took that liquidity too. It took it all. It said, I'm done with it. All right, and so seeing a little reversal off of that, this is why I like the liquidation heat map. But the other thing that I was looking at, just to kind of double down on it, is we had orders on the books, all right? I'm not going to say huge orders, but I will say larger than normal, Okay, there was about over 1,000 BTC on each one of these orders at 93 and 94. Now, when you see bigger hands get in the market, they usually take that tiered approach. They don't just put it all in one spot. And then when they get filled, they might actually even increase that as the price actually goes up there. So you never know, all right? You never really know how much they're going to put in at those levels. But here nor there, that's how I got ahead of it. Days ahead of it. That's how I got ahead of it. And I wait. And I let it come to me, and I'm like, all right, cool. This is where we can have a trade set up. Now, me personally, did I play this one perfect? No, I didn't. I got out a little early. This morning shook me a little bit. And let me see if I can show you why. So looking at it, if we go down to the lower time frames, here, right here. I mean, you can see it on the 15-minute too. So open interest spike, CVD spiked hard, right? CVD was spiking. I was like, ooh, that ain't good with the morning open. Now, could it be a little fake out, shake out? Yeah, it could have been. But what I didn't like is seeing the series of higher highs. The conservative me was like, you know what? Let's not play with fire here. Let's not play with the volatility. And of course, it went right down. I mean, immediately after it went right down to my target level, we had 91.5. That was the target level from the trade setup, 91.5. And sure enough, it went down to 91.2. Go figure. So you know what? We ain't all perfect, but here nor there, if you guys took the trade, it was fire, right? It was fire. It played out beautifully. And that's enough of that. That's enough of that. We don't need to be too self-righteous, but you know, when we have winners, we got to celebrate. So that is that. And you know what? We will let's get a little song in here. All right, that's our celebration for the day. All right, moving on. Let's go over to the crypto bubbles. It's a little red out there, but there's some mixed in green. We got Render just popping off, man. Render has been looking good. It's up 8.7. Rain's up 12.6. XTZ, don't know a whole lot about that. That's up 3.8. Meme Core 5.1. XMR 3.9. Atom 2.8. AVAX still in the positive. Okay, all right, AVAX. Night down 11.6. That's kind of your big loser in the top 100. Everybody else kind of 3%, maybe 4%. Nothing too crazy. Bonk, Pepe, I think both had pretty significant moves over the last couple days. So seeing them retrace a little bit harder, not too surprising, to be honest with you. Oh, I do got one more thing. Because this one has been quite nice to me as well. Let's go back to the Discord. This will be quick because this is played out, right? Because there's a lot of people of a mindset that are like, don't ladder in, don't accept the drawdown. I mean, I guess, but I'm just saying, I had key levels. I identified them. I went in spot. This is actually on Coinbase. I went in spot, and it's played out pretty well, right? You can see off the high. It's been about 30 days, right? That, you know, we've been kind of in this downtrend, and I decided to ladder into the position. I took it all the way down, and now it's all the way back up. So I like profits. You like profits? There is different ways to play the game. Don't get just zoned in that there's only one way to do this. All right. When there begins to be a downtrend, and I kind of talked through this a little bit, there started to be a downtrend. I was like, okay, cool. Time to kind of change the setup here, try my approach, and I'm okay. Like, if we're going to be in a significant downturn, or, you know, if we're going to be in a down year, whatever the narrative is, whatever the flavor of the day is, you know, because it's the 4-year cycle, right? Which I think is still intact, but then you can ladder into positions, right? But you don't ladder in like at the top. Like that's silly business. Like ADA was up at like $1, and then it went sub 50. And I was like, okay, cool. We have a buy zone here where you would expect support. There's liquidity. If you get the sweep of liquidity, cool. I'm gonna take that all day. And I've already taken it a few times, and then it finally broke down. Cool. It finally lost support. It broke down, but then we identify another key level, and so we get in. We bring our cost basis down. All right. So we're kind of splitting the difference on the cost basis, and when it goes back up to the initial entry, what happens? Profits, baby. Profits. That's what happens. All right. So there we go. That's that. Different ways to play the game. No doubt about it. Let's go over to the total market cap. That is currently sitting at 3.16. We have finally gotten over that horrendous $3 trillion area. It has been, I won't say a long time coming, but it's been struggling for a while. Fear and Greed Index sitting at 49. That is neutral. No surprise there. Altcoin season still not a thing. Bitcoin currently at 92,364. That is down 2.21% over 24 hours. It just had a pretty big drop this morning, to be honest with you. Ethereum is at 3230. Now that one's almost even. Almost even. Okay, so Ethereum not looking horrendous. I will say that we did have another nice call on Solana on the show. We talked about Solana quite a bit, right? We were like, hey, 121, that's his happy place. What was the target level? Anybody remember? Was anybody paying attention? It was 140. Where did it go today? 140. Okay, so it has a penchant to stay in this area, all right, this range, all right, that's been consolidating. We've seen it bounce around, lows to the high, low to the range high, back and forth. You know, I said it probably wasn't a bad play to try to play the range on Solana. So here nor there, we're still there, we're in the range, but we did hit the target level of 140. So if you guys took that one, congratulations. But it's been good. The market has been good to us. We got my man Retro Mike Tech. What up, bro? Thank you so much for sending the gift memberships. Let's see who's got it. Oh man, is this Lurker City? Here we go. We got Dopey Bull. What up to you? I don't even think they're in here. Blair Force 1. I don't even think I've ever seen you chat. We got Dr. Goat, Crypto Alt Delete, and then my man, we got Danny Quest. He got a membership as well. So Retro Mike Tech, thank you very much, man. Appreciate you. He has definitely been a dude. We've had him on the show. Well, at least when I was over at Piper Academy, we had him on the show. So go check out Mike. He's got a good channel as well. He's more into like the mining aspect of the crypto land, but he does really good content. Very, very smart guy. Definitely worth a follow if you're into that sort of thing. So, all right, next up, we got the Daily Degen. Let's go ahead and get this started. All right, the Daily Degen. This is where I give you guys opportunity to vote whether we go long or short. Looks like you guys are bullish AF. 17 votes, 71% is Moon. There's no real fight in that. Let's see. You know, the funny thing is, remember when I was trying to take a paper trade, right? Because trading real money is kind of silly on the Daily Degen. Oh my gosh. Are we acting crazy again? All right, here we go. So, funny thing. It took the trade. Look, it made $117. I told you, I was like, watch it take the trade, after the fact. And sure enough, it did. And we set the stop loss and the TP, just kind of blindly. And it took the trade. So you guys are up. Your paper trading account right now is $37 in the positive. All right. So you had a $117 winner. So you guys are back in the positive right now on your paper trading account. I'm just keeping this for you guys. All right, this is all you guys. So there you go. That is that. All right, so you guys want to go long right now. I'd say risky, but you know what? Because that's what you want, we're going to do it. So here we go. We'll put a G on it. It's not going to be 5 on it, but we're going to play the song. Because why not? That's what I used to do, because I used to just use real money and put $5 on it. Then I was like, wow, that's silly. So here we go. So $1,000, 20x leverage. We can have a little bit more fun because it's paper money. And let's see here. Let's look at some realistic TPs and stop losses here. So right there at the bottom of the range, yeah, you can see a little bit of horizontal action there. That's going to be 93,278. I don't know that we'll see that here on the show, but let's set it. Let's set it because practice safe trading, y'all. You know what I'm saying? All right. 93. Was it 370? It's good enough. Good enough for government work. That was looks like 270. Let's do 270. All right. And then downside, we'll just stay below the wick. That's going to put you at about 91,170. So that's pretty much a 1-to-1. Not what I would typically do, but hey, it's just having fun. Just having fun. Doing a little paper trading. Daily Degen. All right. There it is. So it took it a lot quicker this time. There we go. That's in there. That's in there. Now, we don't do a lot of TA on that. It's literally just a sentiment-based trade. You guys vote, and we go long or short. And we just wing it. The funny thing is, your guys' hit rate, let's actually see. Does it have a full history? So, What is that, 3 trades? Oh no, that's the same one. Okay, there you go. So there you go. 3 trades. You've lost 2 of them, but small, right? Because this one we moved stop loss to entry. So just kind of stopped you out there at entry. That's kind of why you do that. And then this one, another small loss. So that one was a nice win. So you only won 1 trade, but you were in profit. You're in profit. All right, let's go ahead and keep it moving. Actually, I'm gonna go to chat real quick. Say what's up to you guys. See what you guys got going on here. Here we go. Retro Mike Tech, my man. Blue Collar Traders, what up, man? How you doing? Good to see you. And all right. Mike said Wick's wife is depriving him of a Vegas dinner date. Mike, you gonna be in Vegas? Let me know, man. We'll link up. I'll be out there. I already got the ticket. I don't think I'm doing a press pass this year though. Honestly, like I did that last year, and like it's kind of okay. Like you can go in like the media area and all that stuff. That's cool, but like I'm not a big interview guy. And honestly, I think I'm just going to walk around for a couple days, probably maybe party a little bit. Was it the second night? So the first night's like the professional night or day or whatever. And then the second day is pretty much when everyone's there. So I'll probably go out that night and hang with some people, maybe catch dinner or something like that. But let me know if you're going to be out there. My bougie coffee. Y'all like that? That's my bougie coffee. All right, you guys don't want to see me. This is silly. What am I doing? All right. Let's go over to Watcher Guru. Oh, here we go. We got good news. I just want to sound the siren just for funsies. I don't care. You know what? I'm doing it anyways. Where is he? It's not FUD at all. It's great news. All right, average gas price is average gas prices in US falls to $2.81, the lowest level in 5 years. If you can do the math, that would be the last time someone orange was the president. Weird. All right, let's go over to the economic calendar. You do have JOLTS jobs, blah, 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 blah. The coffee is just getting me. We got job openings. That's coming out tomorrow. All right, Wednesday. And then Friday, that one's going to be a biggie. You got non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, Michigan's consumer sentiment. You got a lot going on for Friday the 9th. But really, I say Tuesday. Tuesday is the one you got to be on the lookout for. That's going to be core inflation rate month over month and year over year, as well as inflation rate month over month, year over year. So that one can move the market a little bit. That's all, I really care about, to be honest with you. Again, if you want that alpha, you know where to go. Go see my man Piper. He does a great morning show. He'll give you all the alpha, all the macroeconomics, what this economic stuff means. He's got it locked down. I always say nerd alert whenever he's talking, but hey, go get that alpha there. But here we know if we're in a trade, be careful. And then, maybe wait till the news drops before you enter a trade. That's probably more so like how I'm going to use it. All right. Let's go over to the liquidation heat map. Now, liquidation heat map, we talked about this a little bit, right? Talking about the 94K area, why I was looking at that area for a short. That had a lot to do with it. All right, that's where the bulk of the liquidity was. Once it was off the map, what's the incentive? Came back up, couldn't even retest really. And now we're working our way back down. And of course, the liquidity is now down here. So you got a hot spot at about 90,750 and then all the way down at about 89,650. All right, so you got 2 hot spots. You got 2 hot spots on the map, man. That's hot AF. Let's look how that lines up. Again, let me rehash that. So that's 90,700, and let's just call this 89.6. All right, 90, 89. They're both around 7. Got it. Okay. Let's go ahead and move this down because we know liquidity is up here. This is an easy one. And this box is now gone. Because this was our trade. This is the trade we were looking at. Nailed that one. GG's. All right, we're done with it. Now, let's update this liquidity. All right, that's going to move up. That box is now here. And then to the bottom side, we said 90,000, said 600. Oh, oof. That's what I'm talking about. So I didn't know that, honestly, when I initially looked at this, I was talking about it earlier on the show, I didn't really realize that we had a good bit of liquidity there. Let's go and bring this one up because we got more right below. We said that one, oh, this was 90,700. Let me update that real quick. So this was 700. And then this one was 650. $650 Gucci. All right. All right. So, other thing we had up here, didn't really mention that, I don't think, was the previous month pivot. All right, so it's not the current month pivot, but the previous month pivot. That, again, just added a little fuel to the fire there. But y'all don't care about the past. You care about the present. And you do have some liquidity right here, right at 90,700. Well, what do you have in terms of confluence? What is lining up? Do we have any opportunities if price action were to come down here? I'd say yes. All right, you got a high volume area node. You have the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, and let me update there it is. And you have the value area high. So value area high, 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, and just below that, you have the previous week pivot. So there's definitely confluence in this area, definitely. You also have the bottom of the range top, right? So retesting that area would make a lot of sense, but honestly, coming a little bit further down, take that liquidity, retest the top of the range here, right, where you had your break of structure. So you had your break of structure, very clear rejection, breakout, retest, continuation. That is an area that I do like. And that sits at about 90,000, we'll call it 600, all right, for government work. We'll keep it easy. So I like that area. You got the wickets, right? You got the liquidity, you got confluence between, different aspects of technical analysis. So here we go. Let's look at a potential long. About 90,600. Where would we take it? So this is important too. Is this trade going to be worth it? And about 91, I'd say about 91.8 makes sense. Why? Why am I looking at 91.8? Okay, well, top of the little range here. Come back left on the chart. You can see very clear groupings of price action. So what am I looking at? Right there, right there, right there, right there. And now let's put a line through it. If we put a line through it, little shift, boom. Okay, so that's where I would look to exit this trade. So there's some fundamental basis to why I'm looking at that area. And, you're kind of riding the momentum here. So then where are we putting the stop loss? Right? You got a pretty clear line in the sand there at the previous week pivot. That's a good starting point, I'd say. Now, obviously, that stop loss will be based on the wick. And so this is where you kind of need to be smart. And when I say that, I just mean like, hey, if you're getting, a large candle, with an impulse move to the downside, it's likely, you're going to see continuation with a breakout retest. So you need to really read the candle to be like, okay, what is this telling me? Do you see something like this right here? When I say this right here, look at this wick right there. Okay. That's the kind of reaction you would like to see down here. If you're getting that buying pressure coming in, and you go over to something like Market Monkey Terminal or XO charts or whatever you want to see or use, that's fine with me. But if you start seeing CVD kind of trend up, let's go like to lower, you'll probably go to a lower time frame, but you see something like this, right? Look at the CVD trending up. Now, OI, the open interest, you would like to see a little bit of a spike in that as well. Like you don't want to see the continuation, because then it's telling you different things, right? You could be actually seeing absorption. You know, there's different ways to actually read this, but if you see a little bit of a spike in OI, it doesn't have to be too aggressive, but it does mean that new hands are coming in, and you see this kind of continued upslope on CVD. That would be a good, like, I'll say bit of confluence, okay, where you come over and you're like, okay, let me do one more last check before I actually enter this trade. And that's something that you could look at to kind of validate actually executing that trade, right? Like, okay, everything's here. I got my whole recipe looks good. And then my last little bit. Now, what is that telling you, right? That understanding that is derived from the exchanges, right? So, you know, just understanding like that data is going to be a little bit more accurate. You can see orders. Actually, let's see that. I didn't even really look. So you do have some orders sitting here. Now, I don't know that they'll be here when price action gets there, but you do right now. You do have some orders on the books right there at about 91.5. And what were we talking about? So that's actually higher than what we're even looking at. So they're up here. They're looking at the top of the range here. They already see that there's willing buyers that have stepped in. So they are putting some buy orders right there at about 91.5. But anyways, that would be, you know, a nice little sanity check before you execute. That's how I've been using it recently. I do my analysis here. I find my key level. And then, you know, at that point, I'm like, all right, let me just do one last sanity check to make sure that things are lining up and are kind of in my favor. And so that's something that I've been doing to ultimately end up executing a trade. So again, rehashing about 90,600 is an area that I'd keep an eye on. Now, just for clarity, and I always say this, you're probably tired of hearing me say it, like, I'm not saying that price is going here. I'm not. I'm just saying if it does. If it does, then you start to look at the things that I just talked about, and you could look for a potential quick, you know, I'd say intraday long. And it's not a big move. It's only in this case a 1.347. All right, so that is not a big move. All right, you'll probably have to use a little bit of leverage to get anything of substance out of it. You know, this is probably one where you'd probably think about a 5x, right? So if you're looking at getting like a 6% gain, you're looking at a potential 3% drawdown based on that. And this, because there's not a big gap, it's a little bit more risky. It's a little bit more risky because ultimately the gap move is only 0.58%. That's very small. And so it could ultimately wake you out. But I would say, if you get that buying pressure coming in, so let's say the wick does come down here, right? Buying pressure comes in, you get a candle close, you get some closes above, then, you know, it might be worth taking a flyer on. So that's something that I'll look at. I will say this is not a high conviction play, to be perfectly frank with you. I do like this area down here as well when we're talking about the golden pocket, as well as the 50 SMA on the daily, all right? That's 50 SMA on the daily, and then the 200 SMA on the 4 hour. So there's a bit of confluence there at the golden pocket. And then you would clear the liquidity as well. You grab that liquidity. So, you know, and if you're really looking at kind of the horizontal action, right? You saw a few rejections there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 rejections, and then it tried twice to stay over top, was unable. And then you ultimately got a breakout retest of that area. So, you know, that's one to keep an eye on, but we got to look at that, right? Like this one, I think you could really tighten up the stop loss if you were looking at that one. So let's say, let's be realistic. You're not going to be perfect and get in, but taking it up to the top of the range where you had to break a structure previously. Again, really small move, but it's all about the wick, right? So you can definitely get a 2-to-1. All about the wick. I mean, obviously, as you move it up, you see how you tighten it up, but I don't want to like inflate, you know, what's probable. Let's build it in so you get a little bit on your trading fees, right? But that's again 0.6% drawdown for a 1.28 0.28% move to the top side is all we're really looking at. So I do like that in terms of, we'll say a little bit more conviction behind that one, because you do have some more prominent areas of support. I would say the 0.618, moving averages, confluence between there, and then, you know, the tops where you're seeing multiple areas horizontally of support and where it's rejected, right here. I mean, that's pretty clear right through there. So I do like that area. Keep an eye on it. Let's see here, man. I'll have to go back and do these and actually drop them in the Discord so you guys got something to work with here. But right now, you're looking okay. You're looking okay. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back to this area and kind of retest. Let's do a little fib retracement here. At least retest the bottom at about 93. So let's do a little fib off the high to the low, current low. So it's retesting the 0.382 right now. If you were to get continuation, you would like to see a rejection off the 0.382 for continuation. So if you are seeing that, I would say it kind of opens up the door for what we were just looking at, increases the probability that you may see that. So keep an eye for a rejection from the 0.382. But I mean, that aligns with the 0.5 right there at about 93. So do not be surprised to see a rejection out of that, and be on alert. Now this, again, if you're looking at potentially taking a play off the fib retracement levels, understand that your probability is a little bit lower, right? Like, because you're not clearing the liquidity. Well, let's actually go. Let's take a look. Yeah, there's less liquidity up there, right? You're looking right here. There's not a whole lot of liquidity. So like that kind of takes an element of, you know, the setup out when you don't have that on the board. But taking a, you know, a structure, you know, continuation play, it, you know, you can do that. You can totally do that. And I've done it before. But I would just say that it's lower probability. All right. So just understand that. Let's see here. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's actually check the chat. Let's check the chat. See what we got going on. TradeFly taking me for dinner. I'm adopting you, Alex. You're literally coming over my house. I'm going to feed you. I don't know about bathe you, but I'm going to feed you. I'm going to put a roof over your head. Yo, hobo. No, Alex is going to come out here in March. We're going to go play some golf, hang out. It'll be super cool, man. Alex is super, he's a super good dude, man. So excited to do that. Squid, what do you say, man? He's going to be there this year? My man. Okay, you have my full and undivided attention. Well, I don't know about that, man. Be careful what you ask for, DDT. We got my man BGT. Billy, what up, man? Good to see you, bro. Shake and bake. Let's get it. Alex Mack, what up, man? What up to you? Hope all is well with you. All set. I think I already gave you a shout out. All right. Here we go. We got Johnny December in here. What up? Saying what up to everybody in the chat. Do some snow golf, man. That's why I'm not living in Canada. Y'all crazy. Snow golf. That's gonna be a pass for me. I'll play hockey. I will definitely play some puck. Let's do that. I would probably surprise Alex. He was like, I ain't even know Americans play hockey. All right. Yes, we do. All right. I was like, I didn't know 5'4" Canadians play basketball either. So you're surprised by things every day. All right. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's kind of look daily time frame, see what we got going on. All right. So one area that I kind of talked about a little bit earlier when I was on with quantum economics is 98 to 100K. 98 to 100K is a really big line in the sand for me. And again, this really comes down to, you know, looking at these groupings of price action. There you go. Why is this important? Well, this is a very clear horizontal. It's a clear horizontal in the fact that you've seen very clear support, you've seen very clear resistance. The other things that you see with this area are breakout retests, continuations, right? So breakout, retest, boom, down. What do we do when we came back up? We retested that area. You saw a little rejection, ultimately impulse move through. That means that this level right here is very important. We came all the way back down. What do we do? Retest, boom, gone. Came all the way up, reset a high. When we came all the way off the all-time high, what do? We retested that level again. Ultimately, impulse move through, boom, current level right there. So that lets me know that 98 to 100K for Bitcoin is an important level. And there will be price reaction to that level. Whether it's an impulse move through, whether it's a rejection, a breakout retest, whatever the case may be, 98 to 100K is an area to keep an eye on. That is an area to mark. That is an area to set an alert, because it's a key level. What does it line up with? Well, it also just so happens to line up with the 618, the quarterly pivot, and at the top of the channel that I've been following, the one I call the flight corridor. So the top of that channel goes back to 2021, from the all-time highs of 2021, right? So that there's a ton of confluence in that area. And so I'm going to be looking for that to at least get an initial rejection. All right. I would expect, my expectation would be when they get all this liquidity off the board, you're probably going to see an initial rejection, and then it makes its decision. Does it want to find support, ultimately move through, right? Do you see something like this, right? This is what I am expecting when we interact with that level. This right here. You come down, you retest, and then you see, in this case, support. What I'm expecting is that it comes up, rejects, and then it makes a decision. Is it going to go up and finally move through that zone? Or do we see it continue down? I don't care, to be reals with you. I mean, I would prefer to see it go up for everybody. But the thing is, I take this to this. That's my trade. And then I'm out. And then I let Bitcoin do what Bitcoin wants. But what I've done is I've found a key level that is likely, I would say probability is that you will see price action. Now, what invalidates this? Because you're like, all right, cool. Like you said, and go up, right, left, right, down, sideways, ABA, B select, start, right? Fine. But like if you get an impulse move through where you get a strong candle that moves through the zone, invalidate. All right. Now, if you see a wick where the selling pressure comes in, it may just be grabbing liquidity, what's up here, and then moving back down in the range, and you see those candle closes below that area that you've identified, then that opens you up for a short. So that's kind of how I like to approach, the market a lot of times. It's like, I'm not just saying long here, short here, like read the market, let it talk to you a little bit, and then make a decision and formulate a bias once you see that interaction. So right here, again, you come up, you test the level, you get a little rejection, and then boom, off to the races, right? And this is the candle I'm talking about. If you see a candle that looks like this one right here, then that would invalidate seeing this. That would invalidate seeing this right here. Hopefully that makes sense. Same thing for this, right? But if you see that very strong candle through the zone, then it's off. And then it takes all this out of it. All right, we're not looking for that anymore. What are you looking for? The retest. So then you get an impulse move through, cool, rejection, down, and then you're looking for a move up. So this would then be the area you're looking at a potential long. But you don't blind long this. Again, you're not like, okay, we got a breakout. You know, there has to be a retest and continuation. That's not necessarily true. Okay, so just make sure that when it comes back down, you get the retest, you see some bullish candles coming in on the backside of that retest. And then once you have that confirmation, then you're looking at a potential long position. And of course, we've already got that identified. Now, that's not going to happen. It may not happen in an hour, a couple hours, or any of that. Like something like this might take a couple more days to play out. I'm going to have to zoom in just a little bit more to get this box to actually, there we go. So we got to start extending these boxes out now that it's there's a potential. So there you go. Now that would be a nice one. You would have to stay in this one a little bit longer. Let's front run the 200. That would be a 7.3% move. And you could keep the stop loss relatively tight. Relatively tight. I would say under the quarterly pivot is probably a pretty safe bet. You could go as low as where the bottom of the golden pocket there. Well, really the top, because you're looking at it inverse. But I mean, you have some leeway here. And you don't have to use a lot of leverage. So one of the things that I do, and you know, I would recommend this, kind of tailor your leverage to, you know, if you can get a nice percentage return, if you're looking at like a 7% return, then I would use low leverage, right? Like don't stretch yourself out, because it's a matter of protecting your capital and managing your money. And if you have the potential for a 2.3% drawdown, like understanding that if you're using high leverage, if you go 10x, like do the math, right? Simple math is times 2. Obviously you have to add a little bit more, but you know, like you could open yourself up for a pretty significant drawdown if you're using high leverage. That's why I don't necessarily recommend it unless you are able to take very low capital and you're stretching that out to then use minimal capital with leverage, but understanding that you're using, you know, 1 or 2% of your portfolio, right? Like there's ways to do it. There's ways to skin the cat there, but it just depends on how you like to get in. It's all about the position size, right? You can kind of manipulate the leverage and the how much, the amount of money that you're using. You can always manipulate how you're doing it, but just when it comes down to it, don't over leverage yourself. Don't use too much capital, or don't make your position size so big that it's going to crush your portfolio if you get this kind of pullback or drawdown. But again, that's a good one I'd keep an eye on. You know, breakout retest of 98 to 100K. But again, my expectation there is really to see an initial rejection if we do continue to push up to 98 to 100,000. Yeah, I don't care, man. Yeah, I'm getting that way too now. It doesn't matter up or down, just that there are moves. Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. Let's see what DDC says. He says, I use 10 to 20x, but I have a calculation I use for position size. There you go. Right, so there's ways to manage it. There's no doubt. Yeah, and I have a calculator as well. I built a little Excel calculator to manage position size, essentially. So, but, you know, just kind of general, you know, some people just trade with the same amount of capital every time. They use like $100 or, you know, $1,000, whatever the case may be. The big takeaway there is make sure that you are appropriately managing your position size, as DDT said. That's really what it comes down to. And you can do that by managing your leverage, right? So, all right, let's look at USDT dominance, because there was confluence there with looking at that rejection, right? This was a key level that we were looking at where we saw resistance. We did get a rejection out of that, came down. Remember the inverse correlation? So, I mean, dude, USDT dominance has been pretty fire. So we got that rejection, came down, and then there was an area of support down here, right? You can see it relatively clearly. Let's go to the 4 hour, makes it a little bit more prominent. But high volume area, and you could see previous support. So there was a probability, and you can see I have it highlighted. It's very hard to see. I'm gonna have to change let me make this a little bit brighter for you guys. Sorry, it's so hard to see. 8%. Let's make 10. All right. So that brings it a little bit, makes it a little bit more clear. So there was definitely a probability that it, you know, could retrace fully to where the support level was, because we've seen support here before, and that it could bounce. Also, you did have high volume in that area as well. So, you know, then you're looking and be like, okay, there's kind of confluence between the charts, right? Bitcoin, looking at an area of resistance that we had identified. I've moved this up, but you know, the box was right here. So there was an area of resistance that we were looking at. And then if you look at the total market cap, look at this. So you had confluence between the three charts. I did not draw this after the fact. This has actually been up since the last time we were live, right? So there was confluence between the charts. And when you see that, you know, that in my mind does increase the probability that you could see, you know, a reaction. At least if you're in a trade for Bitcoin and friends, you could see a reaction to those levels. So now it's a matter of just, what are we going to do now? You know, that's kind of the big thing. Now, somebody was asking earlier, they were like, well, what are we doing from here? What's kind of the bias for a trade right now? And I would say, I'm not trading this. That's kind of my answer. I'm not, if you're kind of in the middle of a zone, or if you're in any kind of chop, like, I'm not really interested. Why not wait for it to come back down here to 3 trillion, where you have the moving averages? Damn, I kind of like that 3 trillion mark. One, psychological, but two, you got, I mean, the moving averages are converging right there between the 618. You do, the only I would say maybe like bad thing is like, there's not a lot of volume right there. So maybe front run that one a little bit, just a little, where you're at about 3.04, just coming back left, just kind of looking at the horizontals right now as well. I mean, right in that area though, I mean, 3 to 3.04, if we get a pullback on Bitcoin and that comes down right here or right here, if you're, you know, you don't know where it's going to be, but if you're at one of those two levels at the same time, that total market cap is coming down here to, you know, about 3 trillion. That's good. That should perk your interest. That should perk your interest a little bit. Let's look at dominance real quick. Dominance will be a little bit different of a ball game here. Depends on if you come back down to this support level, or if you actually move down to your range demand, where you can definitely see a pretty clear horizontal there as well at about 5. Let's zoom out just a little bit. Let's get some more soda straw. Talked about that last time. Get out of the soda straw, right? Zoom out. Cool. Where are they? Okay, so they're pointing from this high to this one. Let's hide this for a second, because I want to put some different fibs on. Let's take the low here to the high, assuming that's the pivot, 0.382. That would be bullish continuation. If you come down to the 0.382, which did line up with your range demand zone at about 5.67. So, you know, that's something I would look for. Now, it's hard to sometimes predict where you're going to be, but you do have something to look at, right? Like 0.382, and you have a horizontal level that could be respected, and you have your range demand zone. Got it. Cool. So let's say USDT dominance comes down to the 0.382. Bitcoin pulls down to, let's get rid of this real quick. I've already kind of talked through that. I'll have to redraw that for the Discord. If you're in the Discord, remind me. But if you pull back to, you know, 90,700, or, you know, one of the two zones that we were looking at for a potential long position, you know, all three of those charts line up, you know, that might be all you need. That's total. What do you add on the daily? Oh, I took ElevenX off of it. I was like, what? There you go. There it is. It's the 4 hour. So 3 trillion, and then Bitcoin, one of those two zones. Ideally, it would probably be here at the golden pocket. Get all the liquidity, right? Get the two hot spots of liquidity off the table. Get this one and this one, just like it did here. It's dark. When it's dark, there's nothing more to chase, right? Let me check the daily degen. Oh, 47 buckaroos right now. 4.68%. Not too bad. You are getting to kind of the top of the range right there. What do you guys think? You want to take that? Only got about 10 minutes left in the show. Right at the top of the range. Come back left on the chart real quick. See what you got going on. I say take it. Take the dub. Try to limit out of it. Save you a little more on fees. Ching ching. There it is. Let's go to the position history. There you go. So $46 right there. Another dub for the home team. Let's get it. And again, managing your trades, man. Managing your trades. We did 0 TA. You guys just voted go long. It was that simple. So it shows you, like, you can spend all this time, like, I highly suggest learning how to trade, but, like, you know, sometimes it's black magic. Like, honestly, it just, risk management is key. Risk management is key. Start there. And if whoever you're following doesn't teach you that first, I would say think twice. Take a second thought. All right, let's go back to the charts. Let's look at Ethereum real quick. Haven't given it much love. Well, there you go on that one. I think we talked about this on the last one. So there you go. That is well on its way, my friends. Well on its way. Dang. I didn't jump on this one. Full transparency. I talked about it, but I didn't jump on it. It's looking good right now. You are at a nice horizontal level. 32. You might. Well, if anyone did jump on this, I don't know if you did or you didn't. We talked about it on the last one, but if you did, definitely get that stop loss. I would say I would put it in profit at this point. Put in profit, take it to about where the break of structure is. That's probably where I would put it. Maybe just below. Probably just below, right? Just looking at the horizontals right here where you have support resistance. Oh, wifey's calling. Let's call her back. But yeah, I would definitely, if you did take it, get your stop loss to entry for sure at a minimum. You might even take a TP, take 50% off of that thing since you broke that break of structure there. So something for you guys to think about if you are in that one. Let's see. Yeah, if you want to go for the top, then you take 50% out, take another 50%, rate up at 34. But yeah, man, there you go. All right, so Ethereum, let's hide that for now. That's what I should be doing the whole time, is hiding these things, not deleting them. There you go. Path, we'll hide that one. Cool. So yeah, 382. So that was part of the basis for looking at a rejection there. 1, horizontals. 2, 0.382. If you were to get a rejection and see that continuation back down into the range, you don't want to round trip it, right? That's kind of the big thing. And I would say right here would probably be the logical progression in terms of a flow. Looking at it bounce around, you can see a ascending level of support pushing its way up. And then, you know, I would guess you're probably going to see a rejection out of about 3,400. Now, you may see a little wick up, grab the liquidity that's right there above that wick, and then continue to get that squeeze. And hopefully what you'll see is it bounces here, right? You get that ascending level of support, continuing to add that pressure to the upside, and then ultimately a break to the upside. That's what you would like to see. That's what this would lean towards from a probability perspective, statistical probability, is that there's going to be more pressure to the upside if price does push you up to the 0.382. Little sip of my bougie coffee. Where's liquidity right now? You got a little gap right here. So you're going to have liquidity above this wick, and you're going to have liquidity down here in this zone. As it's working up to this ascending level of support, or following this ascending level of support, you are going to have liquidity down here. So that's going to be all the way back down at 27-ish. High volume area is at 25. That would probably be your low side. If you get a push down to 25, I would say you're probably looking for some longs down there at 25. Just based on this, let's actually do a fixed range volume profile on this real quick. Guessing the POC, got a naked POC right there too. So there you go. Yeah, and I mean we've seen that before. For Ethereum, comes down to the naked POC, you know, that from the previous range on these big pullbacks, these big retracements, and then you get a bounce out of that. Yeah, that could be something. I'm gonna go ahead and mark that on my chart. 25.40, set an alert. I'm gonna slide it up just a little bit just so I can get the alert before we actually hit it. Probably do 2600. Now again, this isn't what I'm saying it's going there, but if it does go here, if it does, keep your eye on it. All right, man, I see the chat a flowing. Let's get it. Jehar, what up to you? Take it and short it. We already hit the short, man. We already hit the short. I unfollowed a lot of people. Well, I'm glad you're still here, man. That makes me feel good. You unfollowed me? Oh, man, that's tough. Overall, this is a good time to take profits. Yeah, no doubt. I did today, for sure. No doubt about it. JR said, FJ, thanks for the banger trade. Trade of the month. There you go, man. So FJ's in the Discord. You can check him out if you guys haven't seen it. I'll be super quick here. But if you're just looking on the left-hand side, you got Crypto Squid, you got FJ, HRJ, and of course myself as well. So mainly what I do is I just bring most of my stuff over. Let's give you all a sneak peek. FJ, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Here, this is an old one, so it won't be too much of a sneak peek. But there you go, man. That was good timing. He had a Zen call on the 2nd. Obviously, there's more. There's like 15 new messages, but I ain't giving you all the sauce. You gotta come get it. Come get this sauce if you want it. So Zen, there you go. Gave you your entry, all the TPs, the stop loss, the risk reward. It's all there for you. Even charted it out for you, how sweet he is. And then TP1, banger. You crazy though, man. 200x leverage. Whew. You a wild man. 523% though. So obviously, if you're using 200x leverage, low capital, don't be crazy. All right, low capital, but still, that's a banger of a setup. And he does that stuff all the time. All the time, man. Him and HRJ. Pretty similar, but both of them are just slinging out bangers. They obviously talk because they don't step on each other much. I've noticed that. So they are friends because they're not putting out the same trade calls, which is pretty cool. All right, let's go back. Let's see. We talked a little bit about Cardano. So I just layered into that one, or laddered in, not layered, laddered. So yeah, I think I started here and then I laddered in a couple times, brought my cost basis down, end result, profits. So what we're looking at right now, we are at a high volume area on the 4 hour. We are above the 200 moving average on the 4 hour and the 50-day SMA. All right, so just understand that the blue, or sorry, not the blue, but the pink there, or purplish color, that one is actually the 50 SMA. I bring that over to the 4 hour chart just because I like the 50 SMA, but I like trading on the 4 hour chart more so. So we're on top. We're on top of those. There's still some potential. I'm looking at probably 48 cents for an exit for that, and that'll be a pretty sweet return. Pretty sweet return. So where we're at now, you already know I'm up about 17%. You're looking at another 17%. So that would be, you know, all said and done, fees, all the good stuff in there, probably about a 30% return. Cool beans. All right, so there's that. Let's look at AVAX. AVAX has been super disappointing. I'll own that one. I was high on AVAX. Gotta own it. Okay, so it looks like I'm looking for a potential short. Even though, yeah, I'm holding AVAX as well. But it did not go down to my second buy zone. But I am looking for, it looks like a short here, 0.382. Moving averages converging in the same area. And that is at about $20. Oh yeah, that I see why too. Horizontally, that a lot of confluence there between support and resistance. Moving averages, 0.382, all kind of lining up at about 20. You even see a little bit of volume coming in there as well, just depending on what part of the chart you have in. But yeah, so that was, if it pushes up there, I'll be exiting the ones that I'm holding and then looking for a potential short setup. Small short setup. It looks like I'm only looking for about an 8% move to the downside, risking looks about a 3% drawdown. So 2.5 on the risk to reward. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. Infinite Team TA, man, dropping $2. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Much love, man. Is Jesse getting any sleep? Yeah, he said he got some sleep. I was talking to him the other day. He was the only one that showed up in the Discord. Bums. Hey, come over to the Discord. You guys are sleeping on it. There's no premium. There's no premium. Literally, just create a 2-bit account. You don't even have to use it. Just create a 2-bit account. You get access to the whole Discord. On you. If you want to use it, I would say, hey, use it if you want to support me and help me out, but you don't have to. But if you create the 2-bit account, you get access to the whole Discord. So don't be silly. Don't be silly. Get over the Discord. Use the 2-bit account. And I give you 20% back on your exchange fees, by the way. You're the one getting all the value. I'm here just running my mouth. All right. Let's look at Doge. Doge, I think, had a nice little bounce. That was down around like 10 cents, yeah? 11 and a half. You're getting up to a high volume area on the daily. I do like that though, about 18 cents. 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. I don't know about, look at the horizontals here. How you lining up? Yeah. You can definitely see a little bit here where you have very clear support, very clear resistance. That's ultimately, once you lost that level, retest, continuation down. So yeah, right around 20 cents. It's going to be kind of a line in the sand for you, but it also would probably be where I would look for a potential short. Let's look at the 4 hour. So you're getting over the moving averages, high volume area right now. Let's see, let's go 20 cents. Still 0.5. Oh, is that the 0.5 on a smaller time frame as well? Let me go to the daily. I just want to see if that's a same. Is it being pulled from the same spot? It is. Okay. So it is the same no matter if it's the daily or the 4 hour. So the 0.5 remains. But yeah, you can see it from a horizontal perspective. Look right here. So we'll take it right through there. Ain't perfect, but look at that. Come back left. See the resistance, see the support, see the resistance. Flirt it with it. Boom. Move to the upside. Came down. Retest. Retest. Nope. Nope. Back up. And then this was that October 10th event that pissed everyone off. And then breakout. Retest. Continuation downside. So what's the expectation when it comes back up to that level? You know, I would front run it a little bit. In the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level is that you're probably going to see initial rejection. That would be what I would anticipate if it were to move up. Same thing I was looking at Bitcoin when it came up to 94K. Just get that initial rejection and then let it figure out what it wants to do. You want to go up? Fine. Want to go down? Don't care either. Because this is where we care about. And then what would that look like? So if you were another way to kind of get ahead of it, right? You don't have to do a Fibonacci retracement level based off of what's there. If this is our expectation, is that it comes back down and retests this level, this would actually be like, look, 0.382, you could see bullish continuation out of that area, right? If it stays bullish, come back down, retest to 0.382, and then work its way back up, maybe for another retest. You don't have you got one little spike of volume in there, but really it looks like there's a little bit of a gap. So you can see a quick move through that area. Nice little breakout though. That was pretty solid, that line down. It's not, obviously not picture perfect, but look at that. As soon as it broke out, man, it turned bullish. Yeah, these are just, for me, you guys know I got a 9 to 5, so I gotta kind of project, and not really predict, but try to get ahead of the price movement. And this is kind of one way you can do it, right? Like again, it's just projecting where we think a pivot might be. And then that gives us an area. Gives us an area where we can look for, getting out of a trade. So what would that look like? Actually, let's put that fib back on there real quick. What would that look like if we were to take that? Oh, wrong one. Meant to click this one. So from the low to the high. And if we look for a short, yeah, so you can get a 2 to 1 with a really nice. You're looking at potentially risking what, 6% for a 15% move. You'll have to stay in that trade a little bit longer, but that would be realistic. Again, that move come up, down, test the zone here before ultimately coming back up for a subsequent retest. And then again, we don't have to care. We don't have to worry about if it goes back up. Yeah, this is another one where I'd probably be pretty low on the leverage. The problem, the only problem I see is you're gonna want to be above this zone here. This is obviously, there's gonna be liquidity all the way up, but you do have this high here, so you wouldn't be getting all of the liquidity. Like when it comes down to it, but you would be dipping your toes in there. You would be dipping your toes. But you're just going to have to react to it. Like if you, again, you're going to be looking at the wick, you're going to be looking at the selling pressure coming in. You're going to see a difference. And you're going to have to kind of analyze that. But something for you guys to key in on. And then if you're looking at, you know, getting above the zone and you get a rejection, this could be an area where you look for a long position. Again, wouldn't hit all the wickets in terms of, you know, sweeping liquidity or getting liquidity grab, SFP, whatever the case may be, whatever you want to call it. Here nor there, that would be a, you know, a structure-based like continuation trade. So where you get a little more excited for Doge is getting above about 20 cents. But again, I would expect an initial rejection up at about 22. Got volume, you got the golden pocket, and you got very clear horizontals. But that's probably the zone that's like, okay, we're back. Like, you know, people always say, we're back. That's where I would feel a little bit better about saying, I won't ever say we're back, but I would feel better about seeing some bullish continuation for Doge getting above 20 cents. Volume profiles for the win. That a gang gang. XRP? Yeah, man, I can look at that. I can definitely look at that. Appreciate you all set. Making the day fly. Let's go. All right, let's we'll look at XRP and then I'm gonna get out of here. Whew. That's a nice move. Same thing though, man. Very similar. Right? A lot of downward pressure. And I think I was talking about another alt. Obviously, I don't have really anything on this chart right now. I did have levels, but they all got erased. I had a fixed range up here. I remember that. But man, once they broke that downward pressure, they all got a nice little pop. But this kind of shows you, like, this is like a kind of like a precursor to what we were just looking at on Doge, right? Got up to the fib, the 0.5, and a pretty gnarly rejection, and you come back left, you look at the horizontals there. So it would be tough for me to take a long right now on XRP specifically. I think your next opportunity is going to be a break of $2.45 and looking for that long up to the 618. Got that gap and volume right there. You can see very clear horizontals with both resistance and support. I like this area a lot, actually, at about 2.7. Let's go ahead and mark that. Yeah, that lines up quite nice. So looking for a break, essentially a break and retest of 2.45. It's a conservative play, but and I'm looking for a move up. Let's play kind of close to the bottom. And then really it's about if you get any kind of wick down there. But I think 3-to-1, 2-to-1 is surely in play if you're looking, let's see, about a 3. Let's take it to about 3%. Just under. So 2-to-1 is definitely on the table for a move up, and you can look for about an 8% move to the high side there. Again, breakout retest. You want to see that buying pressure come in. Once you have your confirmation, got some bullish candle structure there on the backside. Just, you know, you'll see where the wick is. Just protect yourself when it comes back down for that retest, and that could be an opportunity for XRP. Vice versa. I'm gonna mark that. Let me take a picture real quick. Let me open this up. Take a picture. I do like that one. Cool. Now let's hide those real quick. Got the long, we'll hide it. Path, we'll hide it. Vice versa. I like that area for a short. So if we're looking at that area there at about 2.7, for it to come down to the 0.5, you can get about an 8% move to the downside there. Now this one, I probably like a little bit better. Why? Because you're gonna have liquidity with this one. Right, and that starts at 2.7. So if you have that liquidity there at 2.7, that's what the green box will indicate. Why? Because of that right here. Remember, everything from there down to right here, there's going to be liquidity in that zone. All right, so when they're saying, when you see those, hey, $100 million of shorts were liquidated, this is what they're talking about. You get this push up, so understand that it used to be from here all the way down to here. Now understand that all these positions that were in shorts that had their stop losses, or the leverage positions that were like high leverage, most likely not even high leverage, that's enough of a move to clear out 4 to 3, probably 3 to 4x. All of these got liquidated, right? Not all of them, but we'll say there was a lot of liquidations that happened, because as it's pushing down, there's shorts, right? You get a move back up, retest, continuation down. There's shorts right here. There's probably, I would say, a high amount of positions right here would be my guess at 2.3, just coming back left on the chart and then looking at that. So a lot of liquidations probably happened right there, and now it's coming back down, right? This is one of the most frustrating parts of trading, is that let's say you put your short position here, comes back down, or comes back up, liquidates your ass, and then it pushes back down. So like now it's below where like you got liquidated at, right? Like, and that's so frustrating. But anyways, I would look for a potential short. 2.7 is kind of that key level, honestly. Again, you just want to see that area you want to see a wick into that area. Obviously you got high volume right here as well, but yeah, man, that looks like a good spot to look for a potential short. Let's look a little bit further down. Yeah, I would say all down here, not that there was liquidity, but just a nice little zone. Really, that goes as far down as right there. Huge zone though. Like that's kind of hard to play. You probably could have tightened it up. Like realistically, like this seems to be an outlier, but this area here, we're saying from about $2 and down to about $1.90. That area looks pretty solid, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not that one. Sorry. So 2, 3, 4, 5. That one pushed through, taking liquidity. This one took all liquidity. But let's see, 6 here, 7, 8, and then ultimately pushed through. So, I mean, 7, 8 times it came into that zone and found support. So that's definitely an area you got to keep your eye on when you're looking for like a reversal, just based off seeing that happen over and over again. Same thing for Solana. You saw that at 121. We already talked about that a little bit, but that was easy, right? It was easy because we knew, you know, these zones here. This is why I like horizontals, because the price is already talking to you. It's telling you like this is a key level, $2 psychological. There, understand too, like there's gonna be retail. There's like if XRP, like think about it, it's up here at 3.6, 3.2, $3. What is retail doing? They'll blindly just put orders at 2. They'll blindly put orders at 2. Now, is that necessarily going to move the market? Not necessarily, but slowly, you know, it can. All right, you'll get this initial pop, but that also psychologically is showing that there's some willing buyers there, and then people coming back in the market. And usually, it doesn't start moving until you get that bigger money that comes into the market here. So let me see. Let's go off of that. So you can see it tick up there, right? Start seeing volume come in. Something I do like to do, I don't know if XRP is necessarily the jam to do it on, but some of the beams in the lower caps, you can literally take like the baseline average of the volume sometimes, and you can figure out the difference between whales and retail, right? Like retail generally is going to be kind of that lower threshold where you have like the median of all price action, or not price action, but the volume. But let me look at CVD real quick. On the daily, let's focus. Yeah, CVD's crossed over. Not that it means a whole lot, but it's generally following the price action anyways. But it does look like it's starting to tick up a little bit here. You are getting it looks like overboughts on at least the RSI. Prime Oscillator Pro is just RSI based indicator. Getting overbought on the daily. Last time we saw overbought on the daily, this is what happened, and then previously this is what happened. So, you know, sometimes it's good to kind of look at historicals and be like, hey, what has it done previously again? So I mean, 3 times in a row, we've seen a pretty significant drop off of being overbought on the Prime Oscillator Pro Plus. Take it for what it's worth. I don't get too wrapped around these indicators, but at the same time, like, you know, the historicals are the historicals, right? Even here. So, I mean, we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row that we have seen a pullback off of seeing overbought on the Prime Oscillator Pro. And then let's see what it did on 5. Let's zoom out. So that was still working its way up. Had a little cool off. Got overbought, cool off, and then popped. So this is where you run into issues with oscillators, right? And this is why, you know, the preference would be towards CVD. So you smooth it out, and you can see that CVD was still aggressively moving up. CVD was still moving up, no doubt about it. And then the oscillator, though, because it's infinite, CVD is infinite, oscillators are not. They bump their heads. And so you saw where it got overbought and it started working its way down. And that can give you, you know, that can give you mixed signals sometimes. So having both of these is kind of nice. Again, I would recommend going to Market Monkey Terminal to get, you know, a little bit more legitimate CVD. Mine is based off of the TradingView one. I just made it look prettier. But you can always go over to the order book. Let's get rid of this and start looking at something like the 4-hour, and then really get an idea of where we're headed. That's a nice little recovery for Bitcoin. Look at that. Popping back up, man. So hit the target area. And this is why, like, you know, you front run it a little bit sometimes. Conservative plays. Top of that range there. Made a lot of sense. But looking at CVD right now, at least on the 4-hour, look at that. I mean, it's aggressively still moving to the upside, even though open interest is cooling off a little bit. It doesn't mean we're necessarily done here. All right, let's see. I think I'm good. I think I'm good for the day. Scar Jessica, what up, man? It's going all right, dude. It's going all right. Mark Dutch, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you, man. I see RS Miller. RS Miller's in here. What up, what up? My man, Al Jr. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. I gotta screen it first, Al. That's why I'm saying here we go. Smell the fear, smoking clear. LFG and mother effing damp it. Blessings, fam. My man. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Good to see you. Let's see what FJ say. Show everything you want. Today I dropped their 8,500K profit. 200X on cross works exactly the same like 10X. Only advantage if that I don't need to keep that much capital. Yeah. Like that's the conversation we were having earlier about being able to manage your position with leverage. And obviously you're using lower capital with higher leverage to do the same thing, essentially, right? I just want to make sure that people that are using it understand that. That's a really big emphasis, to make sure they're like, 200X, man, let's full send this thing. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Understand that it's lower capital, and that's the point I was trying to make. Because you're using that to offset and make your position higher. But yeah, dude. I'm not watching the live now. Yeah, that's. So RS Miller, you changed your or your handle is showing up, not your name. That's what it is. So Scar Jeskel. All right, I got it. I got it now. I see what's up. I see what's up. Got it. Man, looking at this push-up, I couldn't even say, like, I was kind of looking at this area coming up to about 93 and a half for potential rejection. But I would say CBD is still working its way up. Maybe not. Let's see what, oh, no, hell no. Nah. I was thinking about maybe a short if we came back up. But again, cross-checking the CVD. Let's push this up real quick. Let's go down to 15. Came right up to the 0.786 though. So I was actually looking at the 618. It pushed right past that. But the reason I liked the 618 for a couple of reasons was the horizontal. I wasn't really looking at the moving averages on the 15. May have been a 3 minute. Yeah, that's what it was. It was 3 minute. So yeah, I was looking at the moving averages, looking at the fib. Yeah. That's what I was looking at. But it pushed right through. And then CBD is pushing up too. Yeah, man. Ain't no short to be had there. So I would stay clear, fam. Honestly. Wait. Just wait. Wait till we break up into where you have some liquidity up here over 95. I mean, y'all do what you do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. We break up here, you know, over 95, and you get a breakout retest of that area, then you start, yeah, you can get a continuation trade. Definitely, you could definitely think about that. But this, again, line in the sand, just to close it out before we get out of here, 98 to 100K. That is my line in the sand for more reasons than one. 98 to 100K. So if you are in those positions, start thinking about them. Start thinking about realizing some gains, taking profit. But just be very careful once you get up there. All right. With that, I'm going to get out of here. It's time. I got to go see the fam, pick up the kiddos, do daddy things, all that good stuff. Hope everyone is having a good day. Much love to you guys. Thank you for being here, as always. Come on over to the Discord, hang out with the homies. Love you guys. I'm out of here. Trade safe. Be safe. I'm out.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go.